Chapter 9. I Become a Temporary Vegetarian. That awkward moment when you lock eyes with two friends hanging in cages in a giant's kitchen, and one of them recognizes you and begins to shout your name, but you do not want your name to be shouted. Blitzen staggered to his feet, gripping the bars of his cage, and yelled, "Magnificent!" I bellowed over him. "What beautiful specimens!" I jogged towards the cages, Sam and Alex on my heels. Iger followed. "Daughters, see to our other guests." He made a sweeping take-out-the-trash gesture towards Mallory and TJ, who were still trying to keep our semi-conscious berserker from face-planting in the kelp. The sea god followed us into the kitchen. The appliances were all twice human size. The oven knobs alone would have made decent dinner plates. Hearthstone and Blitzen looked unharmed but humiliated, dangled over a 4-burner cooktop, their cages knocking against a tile backsplash that was painted with Bon Appetito in garish red cursive. Hearthstone wore his usual black biker outfit, his candy-striped scarf the only flourish of color. His pale face and white blonde hair made it difficult to tell if he was anemic or terrified or just mortified by the Bon Appetito sign. Blitzen straightened his navy blue blazer, then made sure his mauve silk dress shirt was properly tucked into his jeans. His matching handkerchief and ascot were a little askew, but the dude looked pretty good for a prisoner who was on today's dinner menu. His curly black hair and beard were well trimmed. His dark complexion coordinated beautifully with the iron bars of his cage. If nothing else, Iger should have let him go for being a fellow snazzy dresser. I used a quick flurry of sign language to warn them. Don't say my name. Aegir will kill me. I spelled out the god's name since I didn't know what name sign we might use for him. Frowny Beer Man or H for hipster were all logical choices. The god appeared at my side. "They are magnificent specimens," he agreed. "We always try to have a fresh catch of the day in case guests stop by." "Right. Very smart," I said. "But do you normally eat dwarves and elves? I didn't think gods—" "Gods? Ha 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 ha!" Iger barked a laugh. "Well, there's your mistake, little mortal. I'm not one of those namby-pamby Aesir or Vanir gods. I'm a Jotun deity, 100% giant." I hadn't heard the term namby-pamby since 3rd grade PE class with Coach Wicket, but I seem to recall it not being a compliment. "So you do eat dwarves and elves?" "Sometimes." Iger sounded a bit defensive. "And the occasional troll or human, though I do draw the line at hobgoblins. Too gamey. Why do you ask?" He narrowed his eyes. "Do you have special dietary restrictions?" Sam again was the quickest on the draw. "Yes, actually, I'm a Muslim." Iger winced. "I see. Sorry, yes. I don't think dwarves are halal. I'm not sure about elves." "They're not either," Sam said. "In fact, it's Ramadan, which means I need to break my fast in the company of dwarves and elves, rather than eating them or being around anyone who does eat them. It's strictly forbidden." I was pretty sure she was making that up, but what did I know? I suppose she was counting on Iger knowing even less about Quranic restrictions than I did. "What a pity," our host sighed. "And the rest of you?" "I'm a vegetarian," I said, which was not true, but hey, falafel was a vegetable. I glanced at Blitzen and Hearth. They gave me 4 enthusiastic thumbs up. "And I have green hair." Alex spread his hands like, "What are you going to do?" "I'm afraid eating dwarves or elves goes against my beliefs, but I very much appreciate the offer." Iger glowered, as if he were testing the limits of his culinary hospitality. He stared at Blitzen and Hearthstone, now leaning casually against the bars of their cages and trying to look as non-halal as possible. "So much for the catch of the day," Iger grumbled. "But we always do our best to accommodate our guests. Eldir,